What's up, guys? Welcome back to Phazecast. It's me, Jeox, and this is my buddy Eric, also known as Xygni. And today I wanted to talk to you about news about the new Mario movie starring Chris Pratt, because I know how much you love Chris Pratt, Eric. I know how much you love our chonky boy, who's no longer chonky.
I did like chonky Chris Pratt a bit.
Yeah, and this is like a return back to chonky Chris Pratt, because he's going to play Mario in the new Super Mario Brother movie.
Mario's trim.
Mario is a very good body type. Let me tell you that right now.
Mario's pretty thin.
He's thin. No, he's not. What?
He's pretty thin. Have you seen him with his shirt off? I have. I've seen his nipples.
Anyway. But yeah, Chris Pratt is going to be Mario in the new Mario movie. We've talked about this before. And news came out that apparently he's not going to have his traditional Mario accent at all. At all. And they're going to explain why he doesn't have it in the film, but he's just not going to go around saying, "It's a me, Mario."
So what confuses me about that is that they did get Charles Martinet involved. So he must be making noises, catchphrases, something that sounds like the Mario that we know, right? Because that's what he would do. He's always been Mario. Yeah. Is he gonna not do an Italian accent? That wouldn't make any sense.
So as soon as you said that, my thought went to thinking of how video game movies are made. Is it gonna be like Mario is just a video game character the entire time, and then he suddenly realizes he's a person, and then his voice is Chris Pratt when he actually talks?
Whoa! Oh, maybe.
And if so, I hate it. I just fucking hate it.
That's a little too meta for what that is. It just needs to be cute.
It just needs to be Mario.
Yeah, it just needs to be
Adventure of Mario. The formula writes it's always been there. Princess Peach invites Mario to hang out. Bowser shows up, takes her. Mario goes, saves Princess Peach while jumping on a bunch of shit, and sometimes getting power-ups. He gets a kiss on the cheek and a cake.
Does he get a kiss on the cheek?
Sometimes he gets a kiss on the cheek.
You know, and you're right. That is all that it needs to be.
That's all that it needs to be.
And I don't think that's gonna. I think you're right. I think that it's gonna be something along the lines of like either that or it's going to be like sort of addressed in this silly way where they're like, oh well, Mario when he gets excited drops into this weird accent, and other than that he, you know.
Yeah, maybe. I just now I can't help think of for some reason it's a Mario game in an arcade, because they always have to do it in an arcade, and he somehow escapes for some reason, and he goes to Donkey Kong for help, and all this other stuff because Donkey Kong's involved in the movie, and now
I'm excited about that aspect of it.
Wreck-It Ralph did it good because that was the whole point of the movie. This was supposed to be a Mario movie.
You know what I was disappointed about in Wreck-It Ralph is how much time they spent in the racing game. They spent the first maybe 20 minutes showing you a ton of different content, and then the rest of the movie was in what's it called? Sweets whatever. Yeah. Which is fine, but it was like the same backdrop for the rest of the movie. Do you know how much money it cost to
put Sonic on screen?
Yeah, and Bowser.
Come on, man. All that money, you see all that money was in that first 10 minutes of the film.
I know, that's the thing is they blew it there.
The rest they had to just make good characters, which they did. It was good.
Wasn't Zangief in it too?
Yeah. He was great. Just because you are a bad guy doesn't mean you are a bad guy. It was perfect. It was great. And that kind of meta thing was awesome because it was made to be that. Yeah. We have no trailer and no nothing about the Mario movie, so we can't really base it on anything. Other than the fact that we have Chris Pratt as Mario and that it's not going to have his accent.
Yeah, so I mean, I would generally withhold opinion until the movie is completely out, because I feel like even the trailer can be misleading. But the way that it's going,
don't look good.
I mean, the second that they announced that it was Illumination, I was like, oh no, because I'll tell you
Illumination. I don't know why you hate Illumination animation.
I'll tell you why. First off, I had to take my son to see Minions when he was a toddler, and I'm never getting that 90 minutes back. I like I've seen the first two Despicable Me's, and I think Despicable Me 2 is probably one of my favorite anime movies. So it's not just general hate for the Minions. That movie just sucked. 2, my all-time favorite book is The Lorax, and no, was that Blue Sky? Hold on,
that was Blue Sky.
Was it Blue Sky?
I don't know if that was Illumination. I think it's the same animation.
They did the Grinch
style.
though. Illumination did that terrible Grinch movie, which I will not forgive them for. Let me check and make sure.
Lorax is.
I'm pretty sure, but now I'm thinking maybe it was Blue Sky. But didn't they go bankrupt like after the Ice Age 18?
I don't.
Yeah, it was Illumination. It was Illumination, and I hate them for that.
So
I hate them for that and the Grinch.
I wouldn't blame like an animation style on why the Lorax failed or why the Lorax was a bad adaptation. I feel like you hate the animation style because you think it's cheap, but I don't think it's cheap at all. I think it's very like animated and like a lot of moving parts and fluid.
I don't hate the animation style. I don't hate the animation style at all. I think, like I said, I mean, Despicable Me I like a lot. And I think, yeah, part of what I like about that is that the people are pretty, I mean, well, they're animated.
They're cartoons.
Yeah.
They're cartoons.
But they're very expressive.
Character.
No, they're expressive, though. No, that's not my problem. I just think that to me, between the Lorax and that weird Grinch movie, which was like, why do you have to just make, normal-ass jokes?
I didn't watch that. I wasn't on my list. I didn't want to even watch the Lorax, but I it was on TV at some point, and so I put it on.
I had to
really
turn
missed
them
the
both
point.
off.
Really missed the point.
I know. I know.
But I do like Danny DeVito.
Yeah,
I am the Lorax.
And what a waste of Danny DeVito playing the Lorax too, really. But that's the thing.
I don't know if you've. This is stupid because I did this. I dived deep on the Lorax movie, right?
Really?
I did a little deep dive because there's a lot of like unused songs and unused like storyboards and stuff.
What?
And if you listen to the songs, it's the Lorax. The unused stuff. It's literally the story of the Lorax.
Oh.
Except, like the song "Biggering," because that's a word from Dr. Seuss. Yeah. It's like this weird, like, somewhat upbeat, but then turns really dark fast about corporations getting bigger and then just taking over and control. But instead, we get "How Bad Can I Be?" because we wanted the whatever the fuck. What's the name of the character of
the Onceler?
We wanted the Onceler to be hot for Tumblr. So
yeah, what the fuck was that?
Listen, man, they know what people will buy.
The Onceler doesn't even have a face.
They made him have a hot face.
Listen,
they made him look like some pop punk emo scene dude.
I know.
Who looked like he'd really fit in Hot Topic. That sold. That sold. And isn't that like the most American thing to turn the Lorax into a giant corporate sellout? Yeah.
It brings tears to my eyes to think about that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. But you said it. They missed the point, and that's what they have proven now twice. Because they missed the point of the Grinch too.
Mm-hmm.
He's like grumpy just to be grumpy in that movie, and that's not the point of the Grinch. He's been forced there, and they anyway.
The Grinch was forced there? I thought he was just a grumpy old dude who was up at the top. A self-isolation.
He's just tired, dude.
Tired?
He's like, not... I don't... Okay, listen, grumpy to be grumpy, but he's mean to be mean in that movie.
That's what mean people do.
He's not a mean person, he's just grumpy. That's the difference. The Grinch is not mean.
He stole everybody's gifts and then he took them away for a whole Christmas. That's mean.
He's acting out of bitterness.
Bro.
But he like goes down to Whoville in that movie and like antagonizes the Who's, which I don't think is the point of the Grinch. He's not like
okay. I think you're looking too much into a character whose whole thing is to like, hey man, during the holidays, it's just about people and selflessness, not selfishness. I think you're looking way too into the character that is the Grinch.
Listen, the Grinch...
Can we talk about the live-action Grinch movie and how they put keys in a fishbowl because they were all gonna fuck?
So
that's real.
Well, they put... so that they could get drunk, right?
No.
I saw that movie...
No, that's a swinger party. That was a swinger party. You put your keys in a bowl and then someone takes your keys out. Oh, whose keys are these? And then you do fuck in a room somewhere.
I gotta watch that.
That wasn't for being drunk. That was just to, get it on.
So I saw the live-action Grinch in theaters like 4 times when I was a kid.
You would. Sorry, go on.
Which in hindsight, I realize that movie is also pretty like,
it's pretty
spiritually off base. It's just
pretty saucy. I think the fact that you had our great hero in there as the main lead, kind of helped that.
Yeah, so that's part of. So 2 things. I love the book, The Grinch, and the original animated movie. I always have, and I was obsessed with Jim Carrey as a kid.
Who isn't? Honestly, though, Jim Carrey's great.
I think that some people don't like Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey. People who don't like Jim Carrey don't turn us off. Turn us off right now if you don't like Jim Carrey. Please. I don't want you listening to my podcast. You don't get to hear my opinions. Get out.
I mean, as an adult, I could reflect on Jim Carrey and say, some of the things that he did are kind of dumb and annoying.
I mean, yes, a lot of people have hit and misses in their career, but you got to think about comedy of the time, and also let's talk about a video game movie that wasn't absolute trash, even though the story is kind of absolute trash and pretty this is what we expect from a video game movie. Sonic. No? You don't want to talk about Sonic?
I hated that movie.
Why? It was great.
I hated that movie because
it was the best Sonic movie we're ever going to get. And I hope you realize that.
It was like a 90s road trip movie. It was like watching planes, trains, and automobiles.
It was. Sonic shows up from a different universe. Hello, friend. I'm going to be wacky and weird. People don't like your design. We listened to the people. We fixed it.
That was good. I think the design of Sonic was fine.
Who are we casting as Dr. Robotnik? Jim Carrey. Is Jim Carrey going to pull off a Dr. Robotnik? You bet your sweet fucking ass Jim Carrey is going to be the best goddamn Dr. Robotnik we've ever seen.
Jim Carrey's performance in that movie, I think, was all over the map. But I am super excited because at the end you see him go full Eggman.
Yes.
And I'm psyched for that.
Yeah, we're getting a sequel. You're psyched for a sequel. See how psyched for a sequel you are?
And
Tails and Knuckles.
And Knuckles.
Knuckles looks great.
I have high hopes.
See how excited you are?
I am optimistic.
See how excited you
are?
No,
and that's the thing is, you're right. Okay, that movie at least built a foundation where it wasn't such absolute garbage that it ruined my experience with Sonic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sonic ruins your experience with Sonic.
That's true.
Sonic's ratio of good games to bad games is so off the charts, and Sonic fans are the creepiest motherfuckers on the planet. They're either the creepiest motherfuckers. They're either the creepiest motherfuckers on the planet, or they're kids. That's a generalization.
Normal Sonic fans.
Chris Chan.
I think that Chris Chan has given them a bad name.
Yeah. You think?
I think that's not fair in general.
Their fandom is known for inflation, male pregnancy, and just debauchery.
And there's a place for that.
Yeah, it's called the Sonic fandom. But, anyway, that's a video game movie that was kind of okay. But I feel like there's no, really good video game movies, and I don't know why Hollywood has issues making a good story for them.
Who was the guy inside? I hold on, back up just a second.
I'm backing up just a second.
Because why was that like a buddy cop movie? Who was that? Josh Duhamel or whoever? The guy.
I don't know. I don't remember the actor's name. The movie was about Sonic, not about whoever. Was it James Marsden?
It was James Marsden. That's who it was. Why would I even want to see James Marsden in 2019 or whatever year?
I like seeing Neil McDonough. I like Neil McDonough.
Who's that?
He was the military dude. He's a really good actor.
Who was he in?
He was in. One of my favorite stuff from him is his stuff in the DC universe on CW.
Oh, okay.
He plays Damien Dark, this magic-y weird cult leader, and one of my favorite scenes in all of television has him being revived from the dead, putting on a watch, and then it does a hard scene cut into a commercial. We come back and Return of the Mac is playing, and he's psychically lifting people up and just throwing them away while checking his watch and adjusting things, and it's he's styling on people.
I haven't watched any DC television.
You shouldn't. You should.
That does sound cool.
You can watch the first 2 seasons of any CW like superhero show.
That's what I hear. Yeah, is that people
good.
are like, don't watch past that on Arrow. Don't. So.
Yeah. It's because eventually they stop having a point in the plot. They just know they can make more of it, and yeah, it sucks. But when it's good, it's really good. When it's bad, it's really bad. The Flash had lightning lightsabers at one point, and like some of the fight scenes were shot literally like they were from. It's like they hired the dude who like shot every single Power Rangers fight scene, and was like, "All right, dude, make it look cool. I got you. It's gonna look campy and stupid." I'm like, "Oh no."
I like campy sometimes. Recently I saw a guy.
It's such a tone shift.
Recently, I saw a guy outside of Target in a convertible with his top down, blasting Return of the Mac, and he had like his arm out of the window, and was like,
"That guy's the coolest guy out there, coolest guy in the world."
Damn, I want to be that guy's friend.
Only cool people blare at Return of the Mac while driving cooler. I have done this.
What was your question about video game content in movies?
Man, why can't we make a good video game movie? Like, it's not hard. The stories are either... I'm not even asking for... Hey, listen. I'm not even asking for, like, a direct, like, retelling of a story. Even though the stories are there. You can just do a decent story with video game characters because they all are fully developed characters that people can either recognize when they go in, i.e. Mario or Sonic, or fully developed enough with their own story that you can make a good movie or show out of. The Witcher's a great example of a fucking video game / book that was adapted pretty good. But for some reason, movies just fall flat. Every single Mortal Kombat movie, while fun, is never good.
Yeah. That's the thing is sometimes they're fun, at least a little bit. The Tomb Raider
movies, I think the newest one was actually okay. I didn't see it because I had no faith in a video game movie whatsoever.
I liked Alicia Vikander in Ex Machina, so I was a little bit interested, but I didn't see it. I think the thing is, and you mentioned The Witcher, is that video game storytelling is such a different format than film, that it makes it difficult to adapt directly. I think the only instances where I've really enjoyed something, the only instance where I've really enjoyed something personally is probably Detective Pikachu, but you have a ton of stuff other than the video games to like work off of for that.
But that's like a whole world, and they just put the story in the world, which you can do. Like, that's a good way to do it.
But they have that world not just because of the games, but because there's a TV show and there are movies and there's books about Pokemon and The Witcher is the same. It's based on a book, really. I haven't seen the show, but I assume that part of the reason that that's good is because they have more source material to work off of than just a video game.
There's still a lot of source material in video games. Like, I'm talking to, like, if we look at the movies that we have given, right? Mortal Kombat is a video game where people fight in a tournament, like, to kill each other. The deep lore is that, like, it's about saving your universe and this whole thing, which they could have touched on in a movie too. But instead, we get, like, weird plot switches and, like, like, the story beats are there, but it's just not well told, or it's campy. I don't know. I'm not even asking for seriousness. I like campy sometimes. One of my favorite movies is the Michael Keaton Batman movie.
Oh, that's
and
a good one.
If you want camp, you got my boy Jack Nicholson with that huge ass revolver. It's so good. So great.
Yeah. And it's got Prince playing in the background for some reason.
It does. It does. Hey, we got Seal for the next movie, and it was great.
Baby! Has nothing to do with Batman, but it's awesome.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, have you seen the music video? Clearly it has something to do with Batman.
It's great. It's great. I love it.
So one of my probably top 5 favorite movies is The Evil Dead, which I think is an incredibly campy movie also. I have great respect for well done camp. But it just doesn't even, you're right, it doesn't even get there most of the time. But I really think it has to do with the format. I think that filmmakers get confused about what it is fans want from a video game movie, because video games have two major aspects going on in them, right? They have the storyline and the plot and some lore that you can follow in cutscenes or whatever. But there's also the bigger part of it is the entertainment and the experience you get out of actually playing the game. And I think that filmmakers get caught somewhere in between most of the time. Like that new Mortal Kombat movie, I feel like is a good example of that. They really tried to sort of capture some of the feel of playing Mortal Kombat.
Which they did. Some of the fight scenes were good. They did.
Yeah, some of the fight scenes are good, but it just sort of it ends up because you're struggling, I think, with both of those aspects, with the storyline and duplicating gameplay. It sort of ends. They just fall short on both ends most of the time.
It feels like nobody who works on it read the source material, though, half the time. It feels like they were told, hey, we're making a movie based on this, and they want to tell their story while fitting it into the clothes of a video game story.
Yeah, and I think probably that is the case a lot of the time. You consider like the original Super Mario Brothers movie. Imagine, because when did that come out, in 1990? Imagine in the early 90s being a production company. None of them had experience with video games. Probably the most experience that most of them had was that like their kid asked for a Nintendo for Christmas a couple of years ago. So
how do we go from Goombas to
those little
big, muscly, tiny head guys? What is that? That's not even a turtle. It's not even a Koopa.
That movie...
I'm Mario. This is Luigi Mario.
That movie confused me so much as a kid when Bowser showed up and they kept saying that was Bowser and it just didn't click in my head.
Doesn't look like Bowser.
That was Bowser.
Nothing about that movie. Yeah. That's a good example of why are we talking about going to a different world or some shit? I don't know.
But there's a huge disconnect there between
I feel
the
like
filmmaker and the audience, because you're right. I don't think that any of those people, or at least most of them, had much experience with video games at all, especially at that point.
Yeah.
So now as you get people who are filmmakers that have grown up with games,
30 to 40 years, man.
Yeah, but now you have probably the people who made that new Mortal Kombat movie had a lot more invested in Mortal Kombat than the people did who made the 1990 2 movie that came out. So that made, I think, a little bit of a difference, and I think as we move in that direction, you'll see a little bit more understanding.
Yet? That's what I'm saying.
I think there's still that disconnect. I think there's just a huge disconnect.
So. I think it's a
no, not the disconnect. Not the disconnect between the filmmaker and the audience at this point, but the disconnect between translating the multifaceted experience of playing a game, and then putting it into that format.
I think that is a convenient excuse that companies will use, and it's mostly just major companies buying IPs and then just giving it to a director to make money, knowing it'll be a cash cow.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I would say yes, that they do on a business end just buy up the rights to these things and say, well, we'll churn out.
Look at the Mario movie. We got Chris Pratt. I'm gonna pull up the cast. And we're just gonna go down this shithole, right?
I like it. I like the cast.
Yeah, you like the cast, and that's fine. But Chris Pratt is Mario. Charlie Day as Luigi.
That's good.
Charlie Day's not going to be Luigi. If Mario isn't going to be Italian, neither is Charlie Day as Luigi.
I don't think that Luigi needs to be Italian.
Charlie Day.
I'm fine with that.
He's going to talk like this. He's going to be like, "Oh, Mario, we got to go." It's going to be awful.
I know it's going to be great. You know, Joe, what I've learned about you from doing this podcast is that you can do a lot of voices. I didn't all these years know that about you.
Yeah. It's the D&D. It's the Dungeons and Dragons. I have to be over 20 people in one night, so I have to throw on. Jack Black is Bowser. Who goes and grabs Anya Taylor-Joy, who is Princess Peach.
That's fine too. She's
good. Is it instead of Bowser going raw, 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 raw. It's gonna be, ooh, Princess Peach. I'm gonna fuck up Mario so hard. It's gonna be so stupid.
That one was my least favorite.
That was
4 out of 10. But
ring-a-goo-goo, ring-a-goo-goo, it's Bowser to the Toad, and Mario is the one.
That was better.
Yeah, whenever I do Jack Black, and I'm not saying I've done a lot of Jack Black, if I don't ring-a-goo-goo, I can't get my Jack Black on.
That makes sense.
Keegan-Michael Key is gonna be Toad.
That's fine.
That's just a waste of a good ice actor, though.
I'll tell you what, Keegan-Michael Key had better bring it. If he doesn't talk like this the entire movie, then I'm going to be mad.
We have Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek. What? Kamek is an old lady.
Listen.
And we have Kevin Michael Richardson.
I don't know. I don't even know why that's a thing. I don't know what Kamek is going to do in the movie. But
Kamek
I think
has always been Browser's like, hey, I'm here to explain stuff for you.
So to go back to Mario in general, I don't really think... For me, the only person that matters voice-wise is Toad, because Toad has that really specific, like, high-pitched,
Why is Toad the one?
Because when you encounter him, he's always like, or whatever, and I love that. Yeah.
Hello!
Yeah.
But we're not going to get that. You know that, right?
And that'll disappoint me. But in general...
It'll be literally Keegan-Michael being like, hey, Mario, Princess Peach got kidnapped by Bowser.
I don't know. I think that Keegan-Michael Key might go for it.
I hope so, but I you know what? I don't think it's up to them though. I think this director wants to, and I'm just slamming a movie I know nothing about, right? But I feel like from what little we know, the director just wants to like do. I'm not gonna make Mario have an Italian accent. Okay, so all bets are off then now.
But so you realistically
have three things about Mario. He jumps, he's a plumber, and he's Italian. Those are the three things that make Mario. If you take away one, you get a 66% Mario. That's an F of a Mario.
Wait, no, that's a C.
66 is not a C.
No shit, you're right, it's a D. I haven't been in school
in
a long
bro?
time.
What the fuck?
And I lied about my grades a lot when I was there. I just don't... So, realistically, would you want to hear that Mario voice for 90 minutes? That seems like a lot.
Yes! I want to watch a movie about Mario. Why do you not? And 66 is such a bad... What do you mean it's a lot? Now you're... See, look at you. You're the corporate dude who's like, do people want to hear Mario be Mario? I think we could do this instead. You're them.
I'm just asking. I'm not saying my opinion
right now.
I'm not saying that I am of. I'm just asking. Is that something that you want to see?
Yes. If I want to watch if it's a Mario movie, I want to watch Mario. There was a Super Mario Brothers cartoon show, and he talked like that the entire fucking time, and it was great.
Debatable.
The
voice was fine, though. I agree. Yeah, the voice is fine. The show.
Yeah, no, we're just talking about the voice.
Yeah. No, I guess you're right, but that's a half hour at a time. I don't know. I'd have to see it.
It's a kids movie. It's gonna be a kids movie about Mario.
Yeah.
Think about 10-year-old Eric. 10-year-old Eric wants to hear yahoos, wahoos, and let's goes, right?
Aha!
Yes, you do. Let's go. We're not gonna get it. We're gonna get a let's go, and it's gonna be like fuck me.
I don't know. 10-year-old Eric saw the live-action Grinch 4 times in theaters, so I don't know what that guy wanted.
That's wild. That is wild.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think of because Detective Pikachu was great, right?
And that's so, and I think I did a TikTok about this recently. Part of the reason that Detective Pikachu works, on some level at least, is that they really, really tried hard to get it close to the source material. They had a Pokemon expert on set.
Wait, Eric, you did a TikTok on Detective Pikachu?
Yes, Joe. I did a TikTok on Detective Pikachu.
Where can we find this TikTok?
You can find me on TikTok at Phazon Games.
We're gonna get sued. We should probably change that immediately.
It's for educational purposes that I show clips. If you're.
Oh, we suck.
but they had a Pokemon expert. So when she's carrying the Psyduck on her back, apparently this Pokemon expert said Psyduck
made her weigh the weight.
Yeah, it's 40 pounds.
Oh my god, I saw your TikTok.
That kind of stuff. I think there's that guy who does the realistic Pokemon art on Reddit. I think they talked to him as well. They talked to the lead designer of the original 151 Pokemon, and he's still like the lead designer of Pokemon in general.
Yeah.
And that's important to do that kind of stuff. I feel like regardless of your experience with the game, you need to get those
what a good
sources.
way to go into live action too. Like just to have your own. Like that's a. But then if we're talking about that, Mario's the same. It is an IP that has a world.
Yeah.
There's no need to do weird introduction. Just put a story in it. We're fine. And I even said earlier on that, like, the formula's there. It's always been there. We don't need to do anything crazy with it.
And they may still we just don't know at this point where the story is going to go. They might do exactly that. And because Nintendo is involved, and Nintendo is so, at this point, very picky about their IPs.
Fair.
I mean, I have a little bit of confidence in that department because of Detective Pikachu, and I guess that was like the Pokemon Company, but
that was the Pokemon Company.
But they're
slightly different.
That's still Nintendo.
If there's yes and no. It's weird. It's weird how that whole thing works.
It is weird.
Hot Nintendo was Hanafuda cards for a while.
When they made like playing cards.
Yeah.
Which is
crazy way. Look at where we are now.
They made like wooden toys too, didn't they?
I don't know that. I wasn't a kid in Japan.
I think I'm thinking
know
of
anything
Lego.
about old Nintendo games, but I'm thinking about all the like newer movies that had a chance to be good. Just had a chance. Warcraft was terrible. Warcraft was so bad. They didn't even use the source material. They changed how some of the creatures look. It was bad.
And why do you think they did that?
What?
Like, why do you think they did that? How did we get there? No, change the source material, because clearly Detective Pikachu is generally, I think, a pretty well-received movie, in part because you say what you want about the story or whatever. The Pokemon, it was fun to look at the Pokemon and be like, oh, there's the boop, boop. You know, they were pretty good about that. So there's money in being accurate too, but maybe it's just that they're just learning that.
They're not just learning that. That's the thing. I don't think it's just like, because we're talking at the height of Warcraft, when Warcraft the movie came out. Like, I want to say they had at least over 10 million subscribers to their World of Warcraft video game.
What was it, 2013 that movie came out?
I think so. Let's see. If we look at the Warcraft movie, right? Warcraft movie. It came out in 2016.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. 2016. Only 5 years ago. Only 5 fucking years ago, right?
Yeah, so they had the context of knowing better. Of knowing better than to go and change things. I didn't see that movie. I don't play World of Warcraft, but I am a huge fan of Warcraft 3. Is Arthas in that movie?
No, because they went for Warcraft. Like they told Warcraft, like the first RTS game is where they based the time frame on.
Okay, that's weird.
But yeah, which is fine, but like whatever. But they had no characters people cared about, and it was shot like they had 5.67 million subscribers during that. All of those motherfuckers were good.
Potentially, all of those people would go pay to see that movie at some point if it were good.
Yeah,
or most of them.
At some point. Well, some of them probably just did to see it, right? And it just fell flat and wasn't really like it didn't tell a good story. It wasn't even about being a Warcraft movie. It was just not a good story. It was
so many people
sad.
complain about the story in Detective Pikachu. I would not be one of those people, but in I mean, how do you feel about the story in Detective Pikachu?
There's a movie called Detective Pikachu where there's a Pikachu who talks like a human being. Where do you think the story's gonna go?
It's a mystery. It's a little mystery.
It's a little mystery. It's called
cute little
Pikachu.
Mystery for kids. Yeah. I don't think that it's fair to
to
expect anything more than that.
Exactly. And like the thing that we learn is that like it's exactly like a Pokemon game though, where they mention a Pokemon League, they mention all the other stuff, and then what we learn is that like, oh, an evil corporation tried to clone somebody and blah blah blah. Mewtwo's involved. Cool. That's good enough for me to know that like, okay, this is still very much a Pokemon movie.
But
next movie that comes out is Uncharted.
Oh, dude.
And it's got Tom Holland.
So
as Drake, and I'm like, that's such a young cast.
So
Don't get me started on the Monster Hunter movie. Holy shit, yeah. That was garbage.
Wasn't that? Oh no, I guess it was just Mila Jovovich. Was that Uwe Boll that did that? Because Uwe Boll is a big problem in general in It
was Paul W.S.
Oh,
Anderson.
that's right. And he did the Resident Evil movies too.
Did you watch the fucking Monster Hunter movie?
No, fuck no, dude.
Let me tell you exactly what happens. Let me tell you what happens. We start our movie about Monster Hunter with a squad of American soldiers in a desert.
Well, I'm already lost.
Getting attacked by getting attacked, and clearly they have a bond because they know all these weird things and they're buddy immediately, and then they drive their vehicles into another world, into the Monster Hunter world, and they're back in another desert.
What?
And then almost all of the soldiers die almost immediately to monsters, specifically like little shitter monsters.
Are the monsters
only one who survives
game accurate at all?
Yes, but they only use 3 monsters.
They use 3 monsters?
Yep.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
It must have been a budget thing. They just had that in the science in the special effects budget.
Listen, it was weird. It was dumb. And like the costumes were accurate, the weapons were accurate, which was kind of neat.
That's impressive. But so there's an interesting thing. You're saying that movie was at least game accurate with its like creatures and weapons and stuff, which is sort of an aspect of Detective Pikachu that works, right? But there has to be something more than just that.
You have to have a story that involves the world itself. You can't just have normal person interact with crazy new environment.
Yeah. And that's what you mentioned about the Mario movie that I'm a little bit scared of. Is that what that movie is going to be? Is it going to be like Mario's like, oh, I'm a video game character, it turns out. Look at me interacting with this funny environment, because I'm not about that.
What if the movie is one of the movies like at the end of like a Mario game? And it's Mario is about to save Princess Peach, and then some stupid shit happens where they all get teleported to our world, and then we see scenes where Mario like is walking around, and like there's, I don't know, a jutting out box, and he's like, "Don't worry, Luigi," just punches straight through it and breaks some shit. Like I see that kind of humor, and I'm scared, and I don't want it.
What makes me frightened of that sort of thing, I guess, is the Lego Movie and the success of the Lego Movie, which is a movie that I like a lot, and I think that it works well there, but I am scared of the format of that movie and how it will influence things like that, I guess.
Lego was meta done right.
Yeah, Lego was meta done right. They have the Craggle. I was like, oh, that's so funny. They even
had Chris Pratt. Oh, no. Lego had Chris Pratt.
That's true. That's true. But so, and the thing about, and I don't think that from there people understood this either. The reason that Chris Pratt works in the Lego Movie is because you needed the most generic milquetoast sounding man for that character. That was the point of Emmett in that movie. It's not because Chris Pratt is some excellent voice actor. It's because he had to be like a boring guy, and that's what Chris Pratt is.
I wouldn't go that far. I would say that
his only friend is a
relatable.
plant.
That
Chris Pratt is relatable in general.
Yeah. He's someone like you see him on the screen and people relate to him.
No.
Yes, you did. You related to him.
Fat Chris Pratt.
You just see him now and you're not relating to him, but I still related to him in Guardians of the Galaxy. That weirdo dude listening to music and dancing around, that's me.
Yeah, he plays endearing characters. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Relatable.
Yeah. I guess so. It's just then you get on his Instagram and he's
separate the art from the artist, my dude.
I know. You know. Yeah. it just bothers me.
R. Kelly is not a good person. He's just not a good person.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna listen to Trapped in the Closet once a year.
I
pile them all up. And I'm like, let's enjoy art. Because that's what I think it is. It is a very weird piece of art that I enjoy.
It is a very weird piece of art. Trapped in the Closet.
Only escalation.
Wild adventure.
We will only escalate.
It's so weird.
We go from a dude trapped in a closet because he was with a girl who was cheating on her husband to, at one point, there is they bust into the house of a cop who pulled him over because that wife was cheating on him with a midget that she was hiding underneath the sink.
Yeah, in the cabinet, yes.
Yeah. R. Kelly singing like a southern white woman is hilarious to me.
I don't think that I've gotten through all of Trapped in the Closet, but I do have...
Oh, that's what we should do.
But I do have to do that.
We should watch all of Trapped in the Closet. That's great. I'm down for that.
And then what? Podcast our opinions of each part?
No, we don't need to do that.
Because
this is just... I just wanted to hang out. That's just a hangout thing, you know? That's not doesn't have to be for content.
I'll freaking watch all of that. I think I got to like part 20. I don't think I've actually I listened to it.
Oh, but the view is some of the film. It's a film, Eric. It's a film.
All right.
It's the best part.
All right. Wait.
I think we've got off the rails.
We got into some kind of R. Kelly hole. An RK hole, if you will.
RKO? Out of nowhere?
RK hole.
Oh.
You know, like the ketamine. Like the...
What?
Never mind. It's a never mind.
Is it a weed thing?
No, it's more intense than that.
Is it a drug thing?
But Uncharted, Joe.
Kids, don't do drugs.
Uncharted, kids. Don't do the ones that aren't fun. Uncharted, I am a huge fan of. I'm actually playing. I'm playing right now the one that with Chloe. I forget the name of it. It's like the spin-off one. But I've played all four of the main ones too. And I'm so mad about the movie casting. I don't understand it at all. Okay. So
it's supposed to be a younger version, right?
Is it though? Is that what they're going for? Because it doesn't seem like they're showing scenes like there's that thing where he's falling out of the helicopter. That happens in one of the games when
I feel like it happens in all of his games.
No, that one specifically is very specific. So unless they're just taking that out of context and they're putting it somewhere else, which then is like, just stick to the source material.
I mean, was Nathan Drake ever like a bartender?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Is he a bartender in the movie?
There's a scene in the trailer where he's behind a bar mixing drinks for people.
Oh, well, he might just be doing that as a cover, too. They go to all kinds of different events and stuff.
Gotcha.
You know, pretending to be other people.
Serving as an origin story and prequel to the video games of the same name.
Well, then why are they showing... See, and that makes me even more concerned, because they're going to use actual specific content from the games, but have it be a prequel to the games. I don't really understand.
We got Tom Holland as Nathan Drake. We got Mark Wahlberg. Uh-oh.
So there's that... What happened?
Well, guys, the rest of this will be audio.
What happened?
I ran out of disk space.
That's a big deal. Well, yeah, we'll just run it audio for the rest of this.
Sorry, everybody.
But
just put a picture of for the YouTube video. Just throw a picture up of the Phazecast, because this is the last thing we should talk about.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Sorry, 6 people that are watching this. Yeah. but so there it is, though, is that disconnect, right? Because that, I think, is an example of them saying, okay, well, we're going to take a story, which is important, but we still want that experience of playing the games. So they take that experience of playing the games and they like misinterpret it. I don't want to see a specific event from the games. If anything,
I think just jumping out of a helicopter doesn't automatically make it like, oh, they're only doing this one scene.
Have you played it, though? Because it's so specifically...
I mean, if they want to take a shot from the scene, I feel like that is a thing. But also, I feel as though that's just parcel with an action movie is a jumping out of a helicopter.
It's a plane.
It's a plane? Jumping out of any flying vehicle... is an action
but
movie,
I know, but it's so specifically, dude. You gotta play the game because it's so specifically one of the things that happens in, I think, Uncharted 3.
Right.
I mean, it's like iconic, and sure, you're gonna try to draw people in with that, but I feel like that's the wrong way to go about it, because for me, as a big fan of those games, that's not what I want to see in a prequel about it. I also. I guess we'll wrap this up on just general thoughts, but before we get to that, okay. I do want to say I don't like Mark Wahlberg either. He annoys me a lot.
Separate? Oh, just like as an actor? Or
yeah. Oh, what did Mark Wahlberg do? I don't even know what he's done in his personal life to make me hate him.
I don't know. I'm
sure he did something. Nobody's perfect.
I like Mark Wahlberg. You don't like Mark Wahlberg?
I don't like Mark Wahlberg. He annoys me.
Ted was great.
He's fine in comedic roles. I like him in The Other Guys as well, because he can make fun of himself pretty nicely. But as a serious actor, he's just always the same guy. He's always going like this, and he's like, "Hey guys, what's going on here? What are you doing? I'm Mark Wahlberg," and I just hate the like his like intonations because he can't change them. He can't change them.
I mean, that's the same as saying you hate all right. I forget his name. I said all right like 3 times. I should have given you the hint. What's his name? Butt Chin. Interstellar.
Oh, Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah, it's the same as like saying you hate Matthew McConaughey, because that's all he can act.
I think he has some range.
No, he doesn't. He talks like that in every movie.
That's just his accent.
That's
Mark Wahlberg just can't act.
What? Do you listen to yourself sometimes?
Mark Wahlberg.
Do you listen to yourself sometimes?
No, Joe, I can't. I'm in here.
Jesus Christ. You literally, the thing that you complain about Mark Wahlberg for, you just said, no, it's fine for someone else completely.
No, I think
Shut up. No,
there's a difference between that being Matthew McConaughey's accent and being able... Because Matthew McConaughey is able to convince me in movies. He's able to convince me regardless of his accent. Mark Wahlberg can't convince me. The only movie that he convinced me in that wasn't a comedy is The Departed, and that's because he played a douchebag from Boston, which is exactly what he is in real life. He can only do one thing. And that's fine in certain settings, but I don't think that he has range as an actor, and he doesn't convince me of anything that he's doing. And I don't want to watch him be Sully, because I love Sully. Sully's such a great character.
Did you watch Scoob?
Was he in that?
Yeah, he's the Blue Falcon.
I didn't watch Scoob. We did talk about Scoob.
We did talk about Scoob. I thought you would, because I that's why I mentioned it.
No.
But, yeah, I like Mark Wahlberg. I'll watch things with Mark Wahlberg in it. I think he does some good movies. The Fighter, The Other Guys, fucking... He was in the Max Payne movie, also another video game movie.
Yeah, and how did that go? Apparently not good. I haven't seen it, but
I don't even know there was a Max Payne movie, honestly.
There's
Shooter
Max Payne, there's Blood Rain, there's...
We have gone on quite a bit. Thank you, everybody, for listening, for joining us in our weird take on movies. Mario should be Italian. Don't you try to take away his ethnicity.
I will withhold my judgment for the final thing, but I am not optimistic.
That means he is not looking forward to it.
I'm not.
Thanks, everybody. We love you so much. We'll talk about stuff with you next week.
Yeah, see you next week on Wednesday. Goodbye.
Bye.
Have a good week. Goodbye. Have fun. Good luck.